Hey, what's up, everybody? That's William over here with WDCD Media and A.P.C Photography. Today, let's talk about lavaliers. So there's been a lot of stuff going on lately about the DJI Mic 2. Hopefully that plane doesn't get in the noise, the background doesn't get in there. But anyway, the DJI Mic 2. Great little pro-ish consumer product versus, say, like the Rode Wireless Pro. All right, let's get down to it. First, let's talk about some lavalier things. What makes a good lavalier? So what I'm using right now today is what you call a pencil microphone. So this one basically looks like a little pencil top. I put a little cover on it. It clips onto your lapel or your mic area. It looks a lot better than putting on a little box right beside your face. That doesn't look very good. So that's one of the things you want to watch out for. Pencil microphones are great because they got a really good omnidirectional grab and your voice will just sound pretty dang good. Plus easy to hide underneath clothing if you need to. Today I didn't, I just put it right here. The other type is a flathead. So this one is also from Rode. It's got a flat side like this with a microphone on it. This side over here has no microphone on it. My recommendations for using these is in crowded areas where it's going to be kind of loud, and you just point the microphone side, this side, towards your client or the person who's doing the video with. Point this side right here towards everybody else. It'll get clean audio. It's really, really nice. Now another nice piece to this one, this is a locking nut one here. And this actually comes with, this is called the Wireless Lav 2. This comes with the Wireless Go Pro or Wireless Pro from Rode. Quick thing here, this bolt tends to unscrew and come all the way off. If you are putting this onto that microphone, onto this little box here, you actually don't unscrew that. You literally screw the box onto it like such, and then it will stay on perfectly and your connection will be perfect. If you do it the other way, number one, you can lose the bolt, and number two, it doesn't really like screw on all the way, right? It just doesn't do the job. Rode, you do need to fix that. I have to say that is, man, a major, major issue. The other type of lavalier that we use, and I use a lot of these, are presenters microphones, are the ones that go over the head and over the ear, so they kind of strap on like this, and they connect like such. Now this one's about $150, really nice one. It helps if you have a 10-volt input, but it will work off 2 volts, so this one puts out 2 volt. It just won't give you as much amplitude on this. Screws in like such. You do have the locking nut portion, which you'll find on a lot of the Sennheiser type microphones. Yeah, that makes a huge difference. This will not pull out. And that's important, especially if you're working with clients and you're doing a $500 to a $5,000 video for that day. $500 for me is maybe an hour sitting there and maybe an hour and a half edit and then another hour and a half or so delivery. But you know, if you're just starting off, I mean, it's gonna be, you know, that's what you're gonna get. $200 to $500 jobs, and you want to seem professional, so you can move up to do the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a day job where you can actually employ people, bring another person on set, which really, really improves your quality. And to do so, audio is king, and having the right audio components is great. This works really good in certain situations and doesn't in others. So if you got a presenter who's going up on chalkboards, everything else, or up in front of a room, and you want to capture audio, using one of these is pretty good. Or you can use one of these and capture audio and put that into, say, like a PA system, and it's just really, really nice. It's awesome. But this is one of the tools you'll need for your lavaliers, and this just happens to be over the ear. Now let's talk about the application of lavalier microphones and why you would want to use that over a shotgun microphone. Key thing is shotgun microphones do pick up extra area in the room. They can also pick up, and this is annoying as hell, we'll grab a drink of water. If you're a camera person and you grab a drink of water, they can hear you drink the water. Because the way shotgun microphones work is they hit everything in front of you and a little bit behind you. And hypercardio is even worse because it really goes out further, but because it does it further out, it also has the back side is further out too. So you can pick up a lot of ambient noise. Easily taken care of in post, kind of, Whereas lavaliers are just, you're gonna get a solid sound. You do need to learn how to set up your microphones so they pick up less of the room. Now I'm right by a window. I'm expecting some echo, and the microphone is actually pointing that way, so I'm expecting a little bit of echo in this video, but it shouldn't be too bad. If you're gonna start doing more video work, lavaliers do make a difference though, because not only can you put them like this, which you've seen from ESPN, CNN, everybody else, if it's a video shoot, like if you're doing a commercial, there are things called, what they call lavalier clips, and you can hide the lavalier underneath the clothing. You put on something that's similar to medical tape, holds it in place. There's no like sound or anything with it, and they can move their hands around, do everything they want. They can touch their chest, and there's just no issues. So, I mean, if you want to step your game up, get lavalier microphones. Now, as a comparison to the ones that are available for prosumer at about $400 or less, number one is going to be Rode Wireless Pro, period. Said, done. Their signal to noise ratio is better. Their dynamic range is better on the microphone and on the mics that you get with them. Your volume controls and everything else are extremely easy to use, but you do have to press a couple buttons. Now, hold on. DJI mic people, I'm getting to you in just a second. With that, you connect your phone every time you're doing your setup. It's one of the things I do because it's really easy to set up all your needs. 32 float recording, love it. Broadcast level recording, that makes a huge difference. And you're looking at 40 hours on this, 39 gigabytes of data. That's huge. So sometimes I cheat and I use some of the data for other purposes. It just helps with deliveries. Next, it's probably going to be the Rode Wireless Go 2, or it's going to be like personal preferencing, or the DJI Mic 2. And the reason why I happen to like the Rode Wireless Go 2 over the DJI Mic 2 is what you hand to a client. That's it. When you hand over this box, it seems better than a little tiny piece of plastic. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just a personal preference. From handing them over, in our crew, we have the DJI mics, the first set, and we also have the Rode Wireless Go 2s. People understood what this was. The other ones just thought it was like, I just spent, we're with UNICEF and UNCF, and we just spent a certain amount to get this video. This don't look like what I'm used to seeing from Sony or from Sennheiser. And some of it is just look, because between those two, they work pretty similar, the same. I've done interviews where I've had only 2 of the wireless Go's and 2 of the DJIs, and everything came out just fine. But let me say with a caveat here, do not mix the 2 mics together because your delay is completely different. Oh my goodness. It took a little bit to like line up stuff, but that luckily that was pretty easy to do. I think it's only like 2 frame difference, but yeah, there's a little bit of delay difference between the 2 of the microphones, and the DJI was a little bit longer on the delay for us in our experience versus these. That's number one. Next on the line is probably the Larks, and that fashion of them. The Hollylands are right in that same fashion there. And then if you really, really, really have the budget, so like the whole package that I have here has 2 different types of lavaliers with it, so I would do the Rode Wireless Pro for a couple of reasons. The ability to rent any microphone that you want to rent and use it, and with locking, that is huge. 2, they have some pretty good microphone options. So this pencil is from Rode, and it sounds really, really good. This flathead is from Rode, sounds really, really good. It's locking. It does have a bunch of accessories like the pop, and then you've got, hold on, your wind filter. So either one of those is really nice to work with. More record time. And on top of that, I generally don't have to pull out my, for 2-person, a talking head, I do not have to pull out my F8N Pro. That is a lifesaver. I don't like pulling it out. If I can avoid it, I will, which in that case there, I have the built-in recorders if this was a Zoom F1 or F2 or even an F3, though it doesn't let you put in whatever microphone you want. I can put 24-bit into the Sony itself, which is extremely nice because if you have the handle, you got 24-bit going right onto the audio. You can put a shotgun on there and then you can get ambient sound with it. And it's all 24-bit and 4-channel on an all-eye recording, which is really, really nice. So yeah, this is what I'm going to recommend to everybody who wants to step their game up. The full package of what I carry around normally is right around $1,000 because I have 2 of these microphones. They're about $150 a piece. I have 2 of these, which ended up costing me about $160 for those. This is all pre-tax, so whatever taxes are in your area is your own thing. This is $3.99. I have a little pouch that I carry it all in, and I also have a a DJI phone stand, which DJI makes some damn good products. So I'm happy for DJI. They bring it out. They are one of our biggest tools when it comes to other aspects of video production. They just aren't yet there on the audio side. They will get there. There is no question of that. These guys are going to leap and bound because they just connected with Mackie, and now that's going to change everything. Mackie with them, their wireless is going to catch up to like Sennheiser level. And we do use Sennheisers, we use Sures, we use Sonys, and all of those are like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 systems, and we have the choice of what we can use, and we go use these. Now, if you want to step up your game and you think you're stepping it up by going to the AVX series of Sennheiser, I got news for y'all. This was a hard bite for us, and this is probably the last part of this. Sennheiser, hear me out. I love the product. Man, I've been using y'all for years. You need internal recording because, oh, all right. For $1,000, a regular microphone, a lavalier, one of these, bro, it's just not worth it right now. And we have the AVXs. We have 4 of them. These have become our workhorses, and that includes the DJI, so don't get me wrong. The DJI is number 2. They are a close to professional microphone. We use them in interviews a lot, and they work good for on the street style. But this works better if you're doing a pro look. Other than that, if you want some knowledge on how to set up lavaliers, stick around for about 2 minutes here, because I'm going to explain a lot of stuff in 2 minutes. Number 1, your hand makes it easier, or a fist. A fist between your jaw and where the lavalier is will give you really, really good sound. Best is actually the middle of the breastplate is absolutely best. Best practice, if you are working with a woman or with someone who has phobias of close contact, always ask for permission to invade their space. I do it with everybody, but specifically women and those who feel like they are spatially inclined to have a lot more privacy, always ask. And there's a survey I send out that lets me know which way they are in the first place. Always ask before you put a lavalier on. If there's another person that can assist that spatially inclined person, find out who that is and make sure that they're there to help. Or actually hire somebody to do it. And I do that every once in a while too. I'll bring in somebody who is specifically of a particular group that allows them to feel most comfortable. First thing. Second thing, placement of how you do your lavalier is extremely important. So if you have this one, which is a flathead, and you put it like this, and it's in the middle of the chest, and it's just pointed straight in at yourself, that will not work. My initial description where you would point this towards somebody would be that it is actually on the clip, which is right, oh, here it is, my bad. It's on the clip. If it's on the clip, that is the best way to place that microphone. Now, if you're doing it underneath the clothing and you have it with a person, you want to put the microphone forward and have it like this in the middle of the chest, right here. That makes a huge difference. You're going to get good sound off the body. 9 inches away from the jaw is okay. You don't want to go any further than 9 inches. I like being about 6 to 7 inches from the jaw, so maybe like upper mid chest plate, that works really, really good. If you are using these, now I get the last lavalier in a second. If you are using an over the head, their breathing habits are important. So you want to spend about 20 minutes with a person with this on and listen. If you hear that a lot, that means they either have a deviated septum or they have some issues with their nose. They could be a mouth breather, which is not a problem at all. It's just a way that you prefer to breathe. But you can adjust the microphone. So if they are one of those two, you can do one of two things. You can bring the microphone down like this towards their jawline, and that eliminates a lot of the breathing stuff. And so don't put the microphone right in front of their face, but put it down here. That's why they do happen to have like the ability to lock it in place. It's kind of like a little metal arm piece here. That's one thing to watch out for. And you want to be very aware of that. So you take 10 or 15, 20 minutes with somebody, have them put it on, have them walk around, have them talk, and you'll get a good feel for how they breathe. And that's important whenever you're using an over-the-head headset. Also, you do want them to wear it for about 10 or 15 minutes. The reason why you want them to wear it for about 10 or 15 minutes is because sometimes, not all the time, sometimes they just aren't comfortable with one of these. I had a client who specifically asked for over-the-head headsets for their MCs. That was cool. We got them set up for it. We get there, we have them try on them, and they're, nice little headsets. They're from Shure, and they're used by a lot of different people. They hated it. The MC was like, I am not going to use these. I refuse to use these. I want handheld microphones. So, okay, no problem. Whatever makes you happy. But the keynote speaker, oddly enough, was originally supposed to use a handheld microphone. Keynote speaker saw that and said, is that actually an option? I said, yeah, sure, whatever you want to do. I'm cool with whatever you want. Tried it on. We did the sound test for them. Guess what? He loved this. Stayed with it. And it became a great show. And that's what he wanted to do. So be aware of that. Now the pencil. This one can get a little complicated. So pencil microphones will have a weird sound to them depending on what type of pencil microphone they are. So some of these are actually cardio, and you need to be aware of if it's a cardio or an omnidirectional. A cardio will have more of a almost hollow sound, and you definitely have to be directional with it. So right now I have the microphone tilted sideways, and it really doesn't matter because it's an omnidirectional microphone. But if it was a cardio and I set it sideways like this, my voice would not be very full. It would be almost hollowish. If that's the case, you want to make sure you can point the microphone up and down or north and south. That way it can get the sound coming from the vocal cords and from the mouth. That is completely important. Now, why would I ever use a cardio microphone versus, say, an omnidirectional microphone? Simply put, I was at the Key Arena, or what do they call it, a Climate Pledge. I was doing an interview with a client, and sometimes life happens, and let's be honest, life happens more than once. They were about an hour and a half late. Am I upset? No, I'm paid by day rate and half day rate, so whatever. We're going to do it. Here's the dilemma. All of a sudden you got DJ bands going and everything else going. You got the sound in the background, so you're like, oh, what are we going to do? Well, a shotgun microphone's not going to work in that case because it's going to pick up everything. We left the shotgun up there to get ambient sound. Definitely did not get that person because it's just way too much sound, and we're hearing like 90 decibels, 95 decibels of sound everywhere. So what did I do? I used a cardio microphone and clipped it onto the person, made sure there was north-south, and it pretty much blocked out 70% of the ambient noise, and it worked great. Had I used an omnidirectional, oh my goodness, everything in the grandmother would have been picked up, and that would have been bad. Interview went great, everybody was happy, and we turned the materials in, and what they did with it later, I'm not 100% certain, but we were able to get everything they wanted. The proof was agreed upon, and they liked it, and that was about it. Oh yeah, last thing, do a proof. Never, ever, ever, ever turn in a video that you didn't have a proof on that was okayed. Reason being, because sometimes the client might not be happy. And the best thing to do in that situation is to make sure your client's happy and do a proof. Let's see, what else? Maintaining your lavaliers. I'm going to show you a way to ensure that the cables are not destroyed. These cables are your life. And if this breaks up here or this breaks down here, that lavalier is useless. So what I tend to do is I take them and I kind of go one back and forth on top of each other until I get it roughly fully done. And depending on the microphone, if the clip is separate, I'll clip it on just like this. There's usually enough space, and that holds the microphone. In the case of the other microphone, where it is attached to the microphone like it is on this clip, I will then make enough loop so that comes up, that it wouldn't damage this cable, and this makes sure that the cables are safe, they're not tangled up, and you're not ripping apart your microphones. And if you can, like on some of these, I will actually use like Velcros. It makes a huge difference in keeping your microphones lasting a long time. And how come this is important? If you are charging $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 to do an interview, and you show up with frayed cables, a box that looks dirty, or a microphone that doesn't work, you don't have to worry about that shoot. You're getting paid for that one. They're going to work with you. What you're going to have to worry about is the next couple of shoots, because they are not going to work with you because the word got out that you don't take care of your shit. If you're not taking care of your shit, why would I hire you? Why would I spend $1,000 on you? You're not replacing this stuff. Why would I spend $10,000 on you? You're not replacing this stuff. I understand. A good microphone is not cheap. An inexpensive one is $100, in my opinion. $150, inexpensive. Expensive ones, we rent, because they specifically ask for them, the $1,000 versions of these. Just the cable and the microphone, $1,000. Some will get up to $2,000 and $3,000. So recognize that you're in a profession and treat it like such. All right, anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble on for a good, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes about lavaliers. If there's anything out of this that helps you, great. I will be making a couple shorts out of this too, just so we can have like some easy stuff for you to work with. Y'all take care. Peace.